This is Lewis Hart for Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store. Delighted to be joined with Shane Watson here on a nice Wednesday afternoon. Yeah, it's good to be speaking to you again. How are things, mate? How have you been keeping?
Yeah, been very good, mate. Getting some business done. Got some fight dates that are going to be ready to be announced very soon. All TV dates again. Just waiting on them to basically got to announce the main events first, and then they can announce the undercards because none of the boys are main event boys yet, but they're going to get there one day. But yeah, just got to announce the main event first, and then they can announce the undercards, and then we can get cracking with them, and then push on from there, really, mate. So yeah, good stuff, though.
Absolutely. And I think I spoke to you about April time where you sort of spoke about being back in the game and looking after a few fighters now. So like, how have you found it, I guess, of being away from SJAM now and almost dealing with it yourself?
Yeah, it's definitely a lot harder. So definitely, well, I always appreciate the guys I work with anyway. That was never the problem. But yeah, definitely did appreciate the guys. I mean, you realise how important relationships with certain people are, and how it's important to always stay on the good side of people. And to be honest, most of the time I really did that. To be honest, just so maybe a few people, maybe not so much. But yeah, no, it's been difficult because the difficult thing is at Esham, you have the financial backing of someone who has got a lot more money than I'll probably ever have. So having that alone makes life a lot easier because you're able to do things that maybe necessarily I wouldn't have been able to do.
Yeah.
So that kind of security is obviously massive, and obviously having the thing is I was never the main guy at Sham, so that was always Adam. So even just having that support system for advice, or someone who's been in boxing for almost 30 years, Adam has, so
Yeah.
a lot of experience as well, whereas now I have to call and make decisions on my own accord, really. So just kind of doing it my own way. Yeah, even that makes things more difficult as well, but yeah, it's good, man. It's all a learning curve. It's an experience as well. I mean, the dream was kind of one day was always to kind of do that
Yeah.
anyway. I think anyone that works anywhere, they eventually want to do their own thing. So but yeah, it happened probably a bit sooner than what I thought it would. But yeah, no, but it's going good. It's exciting. It's a very challenging time to be a manager now as well, because there are so many different organisations in management now. I mean, almost everyone and their sons are manager now, so it is very difficult. Any time you're trying to sign someone, there's probably 12 or 13 different managers trying to do the same thing.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are very good managers as well. So not a lot of bad things I can say about most of them. Um, so yeah, but yeah, no, it's good. Good, it's really exciting. But I don't want to be. I've never wanted to be a massive management company that signs, 15, 20, 25 fights. I'm quite happy with 6 or 7
Yeah.
good guys I like, that I really get on with, and that I think can go somewhere. And I think that will be kind of what my limit would be anyway, because I think you start having more than that, then you can't really give a proper service to people
Yeah.
unless you've got a team like SJAM where they've got multiple people that can look after these people. But I think if some of these standalone managers look after a lot of fighters, I think it must just be very difficult to give the full service to a
Yeah.
fighter if you've got 40 or 50 fighters, or even 20 or 30. It's very difficult.
Yeah, for sure. Well, one of the fighters I did want to ask you about is obviously Abdul Khan. Exciting news on the horizon for him. Yeah, I guess now for the point for yourself, is it now that the six rounders? He's still learning, but the six rounders also the learning's done now. It's time for proper fights for him.
Yeah, I mean, in fairness, Abdul wanted a proper fight now, and I just thought logically he linked up with a new trainer. He's moved to Las Vegas now for camps, which is brilliant. He's got some good backers behind him who back that, which is really good. He hasn't fought in a while as well, and he's fought undefeated guys before and stopped them. It's funny, the ones that come to him, the ones he actually stops,
Yeah.
but he hasn't fought. I want to see. I want to have a little tester with him first as well. So I want to have like an 8 rounder
Yeah.
against a guy with a solid winning record, like proper winning record as well, like maybe like a 21-5, so like proper winning record,
Yeah.
like not some knockover. And then I want to maybe have one more of those. But if a good title opportunity does come before that, we would jump into that as well if it's the right fight. And then he can be moving, because he's still very young. He's still very
Yeah.
young as well, fairly inexperienced. I mean, he is experienced as well. I mean, he sparred with like Terence Crawford and stuff before.
Yeah.
He's sparred some very good fighters, but he is still pretty inexperienced. And like I said, he's got a new trainer. It's not just a new trainer; it's new setting for him, new a whole new place, Las Vegas, especially in summer. Like it's a whole different kind of mental area. So bearing all of that in mind, you just got to logically take the right steps. So his next two fights to be live on TV, which is good.
Yeah.
And then his third fight, being well with the first two, or 100%, it'd be quite high up in a decent card actually. So that's the plan for Abdul short term. And then the aim is when he gets the title, we'll find a home for him where a promoter will build him and move on from there. But he's still got 2 TV dates confirmed, so it's just waiting for them to confirm it and then move on from there.
Is it exciting, especially with someone like Abdul, where he wants to compete at super featherweight, and you see, especially domestically, there's a lot of exciting guys there. Like I spoke to you before about like Danny Quartermain. Away from that, obviously, you had Archie Sharp and Ryan Garner who just fought, Jordan Gill, and so you know, not looking too far ahead, but the sort of domestic level there is exciting.
Yeah, we actually were looking at the Quartermain fight. We were talking about making that, but unfortunately, we couldn't work out something with GBM at the time to get that fight on. I mean, I don't think Abdul would have qualified right now to fight for the 2 belts that he's got anyway, but the aim was for him to fight a guy on a GBM show that would qualify him for the belts, but we couldn't work that one out, unfortunately. So that won't be happening for now. But yeah, there's loads of good guys domestically. Josh Holmes got the English title. There's a lot of good names domestically that Abdul would be willing to fight after having 1 or 2 fights. But he wanted to fight them now. But I thought it was quite important that we do this logically and that we have 2 not warm ups. They're still going to be the hardest fights he's had so far. Yeah. And then we go into one of them fights, because these people like Quartermain, you know, they've been stone tested about 3 times or so now, and I want Abdul to almost have that. So it's a level playing field, isn't there? So I said, yeah, Abdul's a decent amateur as well. You know, he's got fairly experienced as an amateur, boxed for England and stuff. You know, so fairly experienced amateur as well. But yeah, it's just taking his time with him a little bit. He's going to need 2 camps at least with the new trainer anyway to fully get used to each other and adjust. So, but yeah, he's linking up with Coach K, who's a very experienced coach in America. Trained Michaela Meyer. Nico Ali Walsh, like he trained some I'm actually kind of like just going blank now, but he's trained FA Jaguar.
It's a lot, it's a lot,
a lot of top US people. So and you know what, Abdul already knows him and met him before and really likes him. That's the most important thing. But yeah, they're currently in Las Vegas now getting their work in, and I'm really excited to hear about the results of it, really. So yeah, that's kind of where we are short term with Abdul. But there's a long term plan, but it only matters short term that you get the victories to make sure the long term plan works.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. I did want to move on. I guess it's only right to talk about it. Last weekend's action, obviously Joe Joyce coming up short against Derek Chisora. It's been a few days now, and I guess dust has almost settled. We've had time to look back on that performance. Obviously, yourself having a working capacity with Joe, obviously not anymore, but looking at it, I guess, from a fan or a friend point of view, what did you make of Saturday
night? So yeah, they've felt many things. So I'm devastated about the result of the fight. Joe is still one of my best friends, and obviously we lived together and worked together for a very long time. It's very sad to see. I thought it was a great fight originally for Joe. I thought where he came off the Cash Ali fight, it was a necessary step up to then hopefully land something a bit bigger, maybe even in Saudi or maybe one of the big shows in America that they've got on like coming up this weekend. Something big for him, really, and put him back in the mix. And I thought there were times where Joe looked okay. I thought he had a good first round. I thought he definitely hurt Chisora multiple times, wasn't able to finish a job, shall I say. I mean, credit Chisora as well. He showed a lot of toughness and heart, as he always does. Yeah, I don't know really what else to say on it, like, apart from Joe just didn't look as good as he can be, really. And that can be down to many factors. I mean, I wasn't in his training camp, so I can't give details of how he looked in camp. I heard good things. But yeah, and he looked good, physically looked good. I thought he looked better than what I've seen him. Well, he definitely looked a lot better physically than he did for Cash Ali. He looked much better in the condition. But yeah, it just didn't. It's just difficult to really say what it is. Is Joe getting older? I don't know. It's just only really Joe and his trainer and his strength and conditioning coach would know. Really, like I said, I wasn't there for the camp, so I can never really say what I think it is because I don't know. But it was a great fight. It was a great fight, but in seriousness, Joe should be beaten. People like Derek Chisora should be beaten pretty comfortably.
I was going to say that, like, in the, I guess not to be harsh, but since sort of the Joseph Parker fight, there has been a clear, and you could say post the first Zhang fight, there's been a clear decline, obviously, in Joe's performances, losing to Zhang, then obviously losing the rematch. You was obviously in both Zhang camps, not in the Kashelly and the Chisora camp. But what do you think it is that has potentially caused this major decline, Joe? Do you think it's Father Time just catching up?
Yeah, I mean, you could say that. Again, it's difficult to say because you know what? Like, people say that Joe's chin was gone after the Zhang fight. Well, I think Joe showed he's got a fucking very good chin when you watch him in Chisora. There is not another heavyweight in that division that would have taken that punishment from Derek. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then again, there's the argument he shouldn't have been taking that punishment anyway, right? So there's that as well. But, you know, the one thing that definitely hasn't gone is his chin because I don't know one guy, anyone else that could have taken that same punishment. And a lot of it, he was unfazed. Even when he went down, he was off balance. You see, he come on square. That's why he got straight back up. He wasn't wobbling. He wasn't hurt. He was fine. At no point did he ever really look hurt. I mean, he took a lot of shots. Yeah. Absolutely, he took too many shots. But at no point did he look hurt or totally bothered. Really, I know it sounded weird because he went down, but he wasn't down. He was down. He just caught off balance walking forward, and he walked completely square. So yeah, like I would say, I thought it was a really close fight, and I do believe it could have gone either way. That's kind of where I stand with it, really. But I can't really talk about where Joe's at in his career because, like I say, I haven't worked with him for the last 2 camps as a whole now, which is quite a long time. And all I've heard is good stuff. So, like the people I've heard it off, I believe it to be quite true. So, I mean, Joe himself tells me, like, he's giving me update in camp, how he's getting on and how he is and stuff like that. So, yeah, but I'm. All I want for Joe is for him to be happy, and whatever he does decide to do next, that he most importantly is happy to do it and enjoys it, and most importantly stays and somewhat safe in a sport that is almost the most unsafe. Well, probably is the most unsafe sport there is. So it's like a silly thing to say, but as long as he's happy and as long as he wants to keep going, then good luck to him. You know, Joe's incredibly lucky. He's got a great team around him. You know, Adam Morallee. If is one of the best managers in the game, if not the best manager in the game. You know, I would probably make a good argument for him being the best manager in the game. So, and even more about that, he cares about Joe deeply, and Adam hasn't got a son, so like he's one of his sons or something.
Yeah.
So, you know, he's in great hands, and whatever decision Adam and the team make, Harry and the other guys there, I'm sure will be the right decision for Joe as well. Well, not they make the decision for Joe, they advise Joe. So Joe definitely makes his own decisions, but like whatever advice they give, I'm sure it'll be well. And what I want to say, actually, I see a lot of stick that was getting towards Adam on social media.
I was about to mention this. I was going to bring it up. Yeah, I was going to bring it. That's what I was just going to bring up. That there has been a lot of stick of the management of Joe. Sorry to interrupt you, by the way, but there has been a lot of stick, like directed towards Adam, even directed towards yourself and Eshjan for the way that Joe's career has been managed. So I was good. That was sort of going to be my next question. I was going to go on to it.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, it's a good thing to touch on because at the end of the day, listen, people can always moan and talk rubbish, yeah? When Joe had beaten Dubois and had beaten Parker and beaten Takam and beating those guys, everyone said he's got to be the best match and well-moved heavyweight going, yeah? Well, when things don't go right, that doesn't mean he's the worst match. It means that at the elite level, you can get found out and you can lose fights. It happens. Like, you know, like it's just the way that boxing works and the way that boxing is. I'm telling you now, there is not another manager in this game that has done more for a fighter than what Adam Morallee has done for Joe Joyce. Complete and utter fact, yeah? There is not a manager that's done any more in the history of this British sport, yeah, for a fighter than what Adam has done for Joe Joyce, right? And it's not just for Joe Joyce. Adam does a lot for all of the Esham fighters, but obviously he's had Joe Joyce the longest amount of time, Yeah, that's why I'm saying, making an example of him.
Yeah.
And he's the only fighter so far that has competed at elite world level so far.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of Lorraine with Kongora, he was like going in there. That was a great win. But as far as I can remember, he's the only one that has, especially a heavyweight anyway. And he's done an exceptional job. But unfortunately, or fortunately maybe, because I guess they wouldn't really want people to know anyway, but Adam, like, no, the fact the public and that don't know how he's done for Joe over the years, maybe a bit of what I've done over the years, you know, obviously before that you had Sam Jones, Adam, you know, and listen, I don't want to make this a thing about, oh, look how good the management team are, because at the end of the day, it's about Joe. But it winds me up when I see people like Adam and stuff, and even I was getting it still on social media actually, but get stick for stuff because they don't really see what the teams go through in their support systems and what they actually do for fighters. And if they did, they'd have a completely different opinion. So it just frustrates me a little bit because you know what, these guys are good people. These guys are great for the sport. I'm telling you, what Adam has never taken one penny from boxing.
Yeah.
Well, since I've known him anyway, I don't know, years and years ago, I don't know what his story was back then. So I'm telling you, that guy's heart is completely in the right place when it comes to this sport. Yeah. Because I don't know one other guy that can say the same thing. So you know, his heart is in the right place for sure. And he's done a tremendous job. And, you know, it just frustrates me when I see that a little bit because I'm just like, well, I don't really know what else is more supposed to do and more to give. We can all say about making wrong decisions and whatnot. If you manage a management company with 12, 13 fights in it, of course you're going to lose some fights, you know, especially at the top level. The fact they were able to get Joe to the top level and a version of a world title in a small amount of fights, I mean, surely they were doing something right, you know, selling out arenas, earning big money, you know, made him a bit of a UK superstar for a while. Like, I would say that's some going, to be honest, but people just want to focus on the negative stuff and the things when it all goes wrong. But that's just my opinion anyway. People are entitled to their opinion, I guess.
Yeah, no, I think it's some good words. Some good words because, as you say, there was a lot of stuff directed towards Adam, and even just everyone at SJ who do a great job for him. But yeah, just sort of more on the fact of Joe. Do you think that there is a future in where he can compete at a certain level? Because it's obviously losing to Chisora is obviously it's a tough road back.
Yeah, I think Joe would actually beat Chisora in a rematch for starters. I think, but I don't think that's a fight that will happen. I just don't really see why it would happen again. I think Joe could still beat like Fraser Clark, stuff like that. That's a fight that would interest him. I don't know. I think it could still be someone like, trying to think about names now.
Joker.
I still think he can compete at a decent level. You know, I just think there are certain styles, and it's frustrating because I thought the Derek Chisora style was perfectly made for him, but there are certain styles that I just don't think are great for Joe. And I won't say what styles I think they are, but there are certain styles I don't think are great for him. But do I still think he can compete at some kind of level? Yeah, I do. Of course I do. But my question is, what fight are people going to want to watch that, like, who would be a favourite for him to win? My only worry is that Joe has to fight like some young pup who's very good, very strong, all the momentum on his side. And then Joe kind of just becomes a B-side fighter, and I would never want that for him because he is one of Britain's best ever amateurs. Should have been a gold medalist, and we've seen more corruption in the Olympics lately, so it just reinforces that point. One of Britain's best ever amateurs, started the pro game with absolute balls the size of cannons, fought everyone, never ducked anybody, never moaned, never asked twice about the opponent. Honestly, he's been one of the best fighters I ever looked after, just in a sense of like, he would literally fight anyone. He wouldn't even, I don't even think he even used to look them up. I swear to you, I don't even used to look them up. He used to respond too quick on WhatsApp, man. I swear to God, he didn't give a shit, man. And you know what? He's a throwback fighter, man. Fighter. Doesn't care about risking it all, fight anyone, got fucking unbelievable bottle. And do you know what? He's always put a great show on for the fans. You can never, ever British side. You know, if you're paying money to watch Joe Joyce, you know you're gonna watch a fucking absolute war. Yeah. And maybe that's kind of what's cost him in a way. But do you know what? It's made him who he is, and it's made him be an exciting fighter all the time. And it's also achieved him a lot. British, Commonwealth, European, WBO interim, WBC silver, WBA gold, WBA international, multiple WBO international belts. Yeah, not even that they're really the important ones anyway. British, Commonwealth, European, obviously WBO interim are the important ones, but he's a very decorated amateur and pro. Like, you know, he deserves all of the credit. And I still think he'd beat and knock out Dillian White as well. I still think he'd beat him. So that's, I mean, that could be a fight, but obviously I think Dillian's going to probably want to fight Derek rather than Joe now. But they're the kind of fights I think Joe can do. And I think people flat-footed, quite slow hands, not great head movement, but, you know, he's still got a lot of good attributes, Dillian as well. He's got good jab as well, good left hook. But they're the kind of fights I think would be good for him. But yeah, listen, it's up to him. He's got a great team. They'll know exactly what to do with him, and they won't make. I mean, since I've gone, I thought the 2 fights they made for him were pretty spot on anyway. So yeah, fair play to them.
Yeah, absolutely, definitely. Shane, as always, a pleasure to speak to you, mate. Really do appreciate you taking time to speak to me, and yeah, I'm good to speak to you, mate. And yeah, all the best. Hopefully, see you soon.
Yeah, top man, mate.
Top man. Appreciate it, mate. Take care, man. Thank you, bro.